everybody. So I thought I'd do an unveiling of my eco prints. And yesterday I put them in a big stock pot and wrapped them all in paper in single layers. I made some paper, some cardstock, some watercolor paper. I got a few earring blanks in there, as well as some tags and some 100% cotton fiber cloth. So I'll just let's start with the cloth, because I'm really interested in seeing how this looks. So I wrapped this up with a band, just kind of to hold it together in the pot so that it would keep everything snug and make a good print. I also wrapped this in a copper pipe. So the first of it is a bit of ferns, so it's not too bad. Got some different coloring and whatnot. And then I've got some flowers on this side. We got a little bit of the purple, but it wasn't quite enough to make a good, really good print. Yeah, so we've got a few leaf imprints and it'll be interesting to see how it looks when it dries out too, just to see. I have some other fabric that I used as well from yesterday, and it seemed to be a little bit darker and pick up a bit more. So you're getting some nice colorations of purple, gray, green, yellow. The copper was really nice on that end. Yeah, so we'll lay that out to dry, and then I will take copies and show you. Oh, that's really nice. Nice yellows in there and purples. And see how that ends up. So now I'll take out the pile of tags. I'm just going to snip that open. And also, after you run these under water, they look a little bit different as well. There's a nice leaf print there. I picked all different sorts. I went to a few spots in town and picked up some different leaves and just took clippings off of different trees in my yard and out in the woods out back. Yeah, so they're looking not too bad, not too bad. They're you gotta be really careful when you're taking them apart. And then lay them flat. Usually I'll lay them on a slab of glass to dry, so that they'll dry nice and flat if they're not moved. Well, that one's really cool. These are Lilac Seedlings. They came out pretty cool. A little bit of variation from some fir trees and even weeds that I was picking up on the side of the road. Lots of different things. Yeah, so there's a lot of yeah, these turned out really good. Oh, those there branches or leaves look really good. Like I say, I have not got the slightest which is which because I just did it in one big pile and threw leaves. Oh, that one's really pretty. That's from a red maple. I know that one. Wow, that one came out really nice. The little fern there. And some of them seem to have squeezed out. While the boiling process was taking place. Because you can see a little bit of coloring and a little bit of leaves and stems, but there was nothing in there, so all those little tag things come off too. That's all right. So I will separate all these and I will dry them all out, and after they're done I will take a video of all the dried prints that I did just to show you how they turned out after they were all dried, because a lot of times when they dry a lot different, a different color and different tone, all the orange reddish colors from those little tag pieces at the top. But it still looks kind of like a natural color in it, so it didn't turn out too bad. It's a pretty one. Some just do such a fantastic job of the printing process. Oh, that one's really nice too. So yeah, so there's our tags. Now we'll just move on to the cardstock. These are just little square pieces of tag actually that I had. So it's close to the same material of the tags that I just used. So it was similar to that color. It was like a kind of like an ivory color. Oh, there we go. There's some nice ones there. It's funny to see some of the ones that you think are going to be really bright and bold end up just being very faint. But again, these will dry quite nice. Very unpredictable. I absolutely love that about it, because it's a surprise. You never know what you're going to get. Look at that, how pretty. That's another one of those lilac. It's like a lilac bloom that's just starting to come out here where I live. These are some little trees. Oh, there's the little fiddlehead. It looks kind of neat. Those. These ones are a little thicker, so you can be a little more rough with these. If you're printing on paper, like thin copy paper, you have to be really, really, really careful, because they are just so wet and so thin. Really thought that tree was gonna give a cool effect, but can't really see it on there too much. That was from an apple tree bloom. That one's nice. That's a nice one. really like those maple tree ones. And the lilac, they got nice color in them as well. Here, so we're nearing the end of this one. Oh, that was kind of neat. But these are very, very useful in any kind of craft jobs that you're doing, or craft projects that you want to be just a little bit different and kind of, it's like a grungy, natural look. These are just ideal, and all you need is paper and water and a pot, really, to get all the pieces out there. So yeah, there we go. All right, now we're gonna go to, let's check out the earring set. I've got these little earring blanks that I was going to paint on, and I thought, why not try this and see what we get out of it. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be nothing. I really don't know what we're gonna get, but well, there's a little bit of color to them. Not as much as I thought, but they're kind of different. Again, very natural. If you like that look, you're going for that look. Now here's the big one. This one's got a lot of different leaves and papers. See, it's very easy to rip the paper because I just did it. It's okay. Let's just see if we can get into this. Alright, these were just a couple pieces of cardboard that I did to hold it flat. Okay, so these are very, very, very hard to get into. Alright. There's our first piece. It's not too bad, really nice. That red maple is really nice. It gives like a turquoise almost, a deep greenish black color. And there's the second print. You'll notice too, when you're doing stuff like this, you'll get pieces from the other side that bleed through. So you kind of get a different print on both sides, which is nice. It's very interesting. That was from these little ones, I believe were from, I'm not sure where they were from. We've got some really nice printing properties on them. And there we go. And then we got some big oak ones here that a little bit, I think they might dry a little darker, which would be nice. You can definitely see the outline of the leaves there. This one came really good. Some of them are pretty faint like this, but I really like those because it gives you nice pages for journaling or drawing or painting on without too much contrast from the eco printing process. That one's quite nice. And these ones got really lumpy too because there was a lot of thick plants I was using. And you have to be very careful because their papers are so delicate. They're very easy to tear. I always do this outside too, my pot outside. I used to do it in my kitchen, but it makes such a mess. This time I did them outside, so it turned out really good. And we'll get these here ones off. Oh, that's a nice one with the big leaves. Once I'm done doing this too, I'll give them a little run through the just cold water just to clean off any bits of organic matter that's still on the sheets, and it kind of sets them nice as well. There we go. Oh yeah, I threw some tags in here too. I forgot about that. See, some of them had leaves on them, but they must have came out of the bundle in the boiling process, because it kind of shakes everything around. That one turned out really nice. Deep dark colors in some of these. Turning out really good, yeah. There's another. Yeah, so there's really a lot you can do. The fabric didn't turn out quite like I thought it would. It was a lot lighter in color. I thought that there would be more coloring to that, but it could have been just the type of leaves that I used. Maybe next time I'm going to try it with those red maple leaves, because they are beautiful. And they give a nice deep color and different effect. And you're getting different effects on every single sheet. Like, it would never be the same if you did it again. I've done this several times over the years, and my pages are always different. These were just some white sheets that I didn't put anything in the middle, just to see if they would get some transfer. And they're kind of colorful, actually. I like how they turned out too. I like when I'm making journals and doing crafts and even painting on papers. It's nice to have some that have a little bit of color but aren't totally saturated, so that it doesn't take away from what you're doing. There's another few that were just kind of laid on top of each other. Oh, this one's really nice. Really, really nice. I really like that one. I think the next time I do this, this was just kind of a mishmash of all different kinds of things. I wanted to just kind of be a big selection of different prints. Oh, that one's just gorgeous. And it really exceeded my expectations, but I wish I had used some different ones on the fabric. I think I'll do that one again and see if I get different results. Oops, I tore that one. It's very easy to tear. You don't notice you're doing it because they're so light and finicky. There, so that's the end of that bundle. So here's the last one. Let's snip this one open and see what we got in here. When I put this in my pot too, I just wanted to mention that I also took some bits of iron, like little bits off of an old tire that was out in my backyard. Just the rim had a little bit of iron or rust on it, so I shoved that in there. Sometimes it helps to mordant it so that it stays, but you're pretty lucky on paper. If you're using it in your crafts and your junk journals and whatnot, I don't know if it'll make quite a difference, but I use it anyway. I like to use it. Alright, so this here pile is a different selection of papers. Paper, like thin paper, there's some cardstock in it, and yeah, we're getting some nice colors in that. A lot of really nice yellows I'm getting, and mustard, orangey. And it's funny because when it goes in, the flowers are whitish and green. So you're kind of getting a lot of really nice color mixing going on. Oopsie. I love unraveling these too, because you really never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get blues, sometimes you get pinks or yellows or purples. A lot of these, like these were really pink flowers. And I kind of got, it's kind of like a creamy rust color, I guess. These are the little cardstock pieces, which are peeling off really nice. I think the thinner stuff is just so much harder. It's so thin you can barely touch it without ripping it. I printed up some papers with blueberry ink last night, and they turned out fabulously. I made 2 different batches, so one of the batches was really, really light because it was a newer batch, and then I had another batch that was darker, so I just moved those colors around a bit, and I looked at those this morning and they turned out pretty good too. So and some leave none, like that's a really nice big leaf, and you just got nothing. Nature does what it wants to. I think these are just gorgeous, gorgeous papers. And what I usually do with these is just scraps of paper that I have from different projects that I do. I just save them in a big box, just keep saving them there, and then when I got a big pile of them, I do this. And it gives them a second life. Well, that one's pretty. A lot of green there, that one. A little bit of teal in here. Oh, that's that red maple coming through again. That's really nice. These are going to be pretty. This is going to be a pretty, pretty piece. Wow. Really, really nice. this pretty much wraps it up. I still got a few left to go here. Yeah, so if anybody's curious about anything that I did, if I didn't explain it properly, or if I missed something and you're curious about it, just leave me a comment, and I will get back to you once I see it. Those maple are really nice too. Oh, that one's nice. Kind of faded out in the background. I like that. Quite nice. It's really, really nice to work with card, because the last few times I did it, I used paper, and paper is just so delicate. These seem to be a lot more sturdy. You can kind of grab them and rip them, and they don't really do too much. Maybe a little bit rough, and they'll dry just fine. A few years back, I came into some allergies that I never had before, and I was kind of forced into removing all the toxins and chemicals from my house, and in the process I was having a really hard time because I couldn't do all the things that I originally used to do. So I started coming up with ideas and ways of making craft supplies and learning about the old ways that they did it so that I could continue my art practice. So that's a lot of where this stemmed from. If you have any questions, just give me a dingle and let me know. Thanks for watching.